Would I buy a Mark 8 Golf R? I think this is a question that a lot of people have asked me in the past over the years of the channel. Now, it's a car that I've driven a lot on the channel, actually. Massively thankful to the subscribers who've lent me their cars. You know, there's two in particular. The white one, which was the first person someone that ever lent me a car on the channel. It was a performance pack car, just come out. He'd only had it like 3 days. And yeah, just to lend me it and just to literally lend me the keys and to go out in it was massive respect. I'm hugely grateful to that initial person to kind of get that kind of ball rolling. And I had another person as well who was really great, and I've met up with him a few times in his black Mark 8 Golf R with the Akrapovic exhaust. It was great to compare the difference between a performance pack and a non-performance pack, and I had loads of fun, and I love the car. Don't get me wrong. First things first, unbelievable car. Really, really good. A lot more focused and engaging than I'd say the Mark 7. But as a result of that, potentially a little bit less chilled. Like, even basic stuff, right? So like, you look at like the turning circle of this car. I know it sounds stupid. It's a normal car. When you get into sports car kind of territory, or like Fiesta STs or Mark 8 Golf Rs or Club Sports, they tend to have really short racks. And it just means that maneuverability is not so good. And just something basic as that, which is actually really important for day-to-day use and driving and parking, and, you know, think of like the Mark III Focus RS is notorious for it. You can't turn the lock. You just look like a terrible driver. Stuff like that. And it's kind of maybe gone a little bit more to the Club Sport side, potentially. But I think it's a great car. I think the biggest problem is the state of the world that we're in. I think by now, in, you know, we're sort of October 2022, there should have been loads of Mark 8 Golf Rs out. But because of the supply chain issues, there's not. And because of the supply chain issues globally, used car prices, new car prices have gone through the absolute roof. So in a different world, we'd be in a different place. But of course, all of them, I think the cheapest one you can get is still about £37,000, which is not too far off what the cars would have cost list in the first place. That's where we are on that. And it's just where we are. That's where we have to kind of adapt. I always say kind of 2 years, let a car depreciate. But I mean, in the next 12 months, do I think it's going to come down? I think it probably would. Would it come down enough for me? I'd have to think about it. I think the infotainment is a big thing. I'm quite a simple person, you know. This is just manual dials. You know, I don't need anything else. I just want to chill out in my car. If I want all the tech in the world, I have my phone. And, you know, you look at like the updates that come through on phones. Every day you'll be updating some of your apps all the time. And they're bang up to date. A car is particularly the Mark 8, has exactly the same thing. And this is a Mark 8 in general problem and future car problem. You get software updates to sort out so much stuff. I was hearing stuff in like, I think it was like the Porsche Taycan, and they have updates which increase the range. And it's like, how does that work? So old cars can just have software updates to increase their range, which is cool. But it's like, it just never stops. It's just relentless. Yeah, so I'm not so on board with that, particularly something when you've spent, you know, the second most expensive purchase of your life. I'm still not convinced, and I still have to be convinced on that kind of side of things. The other thing is, again, about that constant change. There's already been spy shots of the future potential performance pack, or the 8.5 Mark 8 Golf R, which again could be really, really good. They've already announced the 20 years, which again looks great, a little bit more power. Yeah, that's cool. But it's like nearly 50 grand and it's limited. That's the problem. I think the world we're in is the problem, and I think people are starting to slightly understand that. And for those people, again, and I do say this from the bottom of my heart because I want people to be the best, if you think these cars are like investments and you can make a quick couple of grand, flipping hell, you can't. You just can't. You're not a car dealer. You're a private individual. It just does not work. You got to earn your money elsewhere. And even if you get a quick win and you get lucky, hey, it doesn't happen. It's just you have to get back to what it is. Cars are extremely expensive, and you have to make that sacrifice. You have to make the sacrifice that you might lose £10,000 in 2 years. You know, that's a lot of money. So that's the big thing. I think the car is great, and anyone that's got one, massive congratulations to them. And obviously I'd love to share it on the channel. You know, I think a lot of people kind of thought that because I talked about it so much. But I'm just a normal guy, you know. YouTube doesn't make me particularly any money. You know, £100 a month isn't going to pay for a Mark 8 Golf R. I know TR Hamza, he's recently picked one up, and again, massive respect to him for doing it, because I saw on Auto Trader, I think he probably paid about 37,000, 38,000 pounds for that car, 20,000 miles, and he does have a huge channel, 160,000 subscribers, so compared to my 4,000 lovely subscribers who I cherish so much, and I love the community I've got here. It's unbelievable. I love people getting involved in the comments. I think everyone helps each other out, and I couldn't want any more from the channel. I think it's brilliant. So if you want to be a part of it, yeah, get involved. But yeah, it's great. It's a car that's going to lose money. It's a car he's probably paying finance on. You can justify it because you're kind of running it as part of your business, but even then it's like really tough to kind of do, you know. So that's where I'm kind of like, yeah, certainly support him and watch his videos, because I think he'll get the most out of it. I'm interested to see what he does with certain things, whether or not he can code in stuff like Nürburgring mode and things like that, whether or not that's possible, and like maybe even drift mode with yeah, the amazing new ability of the Haldex system with like the clutch packs at the rear. You're gonna have to watch his channel for the Golf 8R stuff, and also again, it's the usual kind of stuff. After 2 or 3 months, if you just like me, just want to kind of check out something else. Whereas the Mark 7 Golf R, I've just always kind of been like, nothing really has beaten this. And I've driven a lot of cars over the last couple of years. A lot of cars. And I've never really driven away and gone... I've driven away and gone like, oh, I would love that car. I'd love to own that car. That person's got an amazing car. Because that's generally who... You know, I love those cars beforehand, and to try it and it meets the expectations is fantastic. Whether it's a fast Ford, you know, Porsche even, you know, stuff that I've driven before, and Volkswagen Audi group stuff. It would always be like, but I wouldn't want to get rid of this. So that's where, and there's no point of me having this car and a Mark 8 Golf R as a second car. No point in that at all. So, because I mentioned that in my last video of something for the channel. So yeah, it's not really for me, and it's mainly because of the state of the world more than anything. Yeah, I think that's the main one, but it does make me smile whenever I see one. I can only recommend it, and if you've got one, comment and let people know your experiences of actually ownership, because I think that's the main thing. Like, for example, my channel is never going to be something where I'm going to be like, oh, let's drag race this, let's remap this, let's, you know, it's just, that's just not what I do. I'm just a normal guy. I love OEM stock kind of stuff, and if you can share your experience in a comment, I think that would really help people out. It certainly helped me out, and I'd read it through, and potentially maybe in the future I'll do a video, like a bit of a Q&A from comments, and share people what it's like, because I think that's what is really interesting. I don't know, something might crazy might happen. I mean, you look what happened 2 years ago when everything just sort of plummeted. If that happened again, you know, I am fortunate enough, I'm sort of waiting around and sort of able to sort of snap up opportunities. But then you've also got to factor in the fact that if a car goes down in price by a lot, if I was to say, obviously, get rid of this car that I'm in, this car would have gone down a lot. It just balances itself out. It's like you think your house goes up in money, but it doesn't really matter, because the next house, if you want to buy a different house and live somewhere else, that's also gone up in money. It's just a never-ending circle, eh? Good fun, and I hope you've enjoyed the Mark 8 Golf R content I have shown, and I will try and show as much more as I possibly can. And yeah, comment below, let me know your thoughts on the car. What do you think about my opinion kind of on it as well?